Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends retro carded Spider-Man Wave GWEN STACY, which I think is a welcome addition to the collection. We don't have too many characters like this to put on the shelf with the other characters, and so I am fine with it. Is it a good figure though? I'm sure a lot of people are going to buy it regardless of quality, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about the good and the bad. There are quite a few things that are really nice about this figure, and there's a couple things that aren't so good, but probably mostly just going to notice that on mine, and most people won't have an issue with it. We'll see, but definitely some good stuff. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 15.5 centimeters, which makes it pretty close to, let's say just over 6 inches. And at first glance, this figure looks pretty good. The thing that stands out to me the most is the texture on her sweater. Very easy to do with digital sculpting, but not necessarily easy to get to look good on an action figure, and they did a really good job. It looks just as it should. If you were to dry brush over that, it would look excellent, but I don't expect them to do that, so it's still fine, but that's awesome. They did a really good job with the jacket as well, especially since they glued on the strap back here so that you do actually have the brown strap that comes around as an extra piece. That's a very nice addition. Those things stand out. Okay, so the face looks pretty good. Let's continue on. Let's not get sidetracked. The face looks pretty good, I think. I don't know, maybe not the best likeness for the character, but it's still a decent face sculpt, and the paint job is good. The hair is sculpted well. There's no real shading in it, though. That's a bummer. Mine has some schmutz all over the side of the face, which is definitely not ideal. I don't care for that very much. But I guess you guys won't have to deal with that, so that's okay. They did a good job down here. It looks like they painted the black on. I should zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks like they painted the black onto the skin tone legs, which is good because the skin tone matches all the way through. That's fine. This is a separate piece. Basically, everything is molded in the color it's supposed to be except for this, and black is easy to paint, so that's really nice. And for all the preverts out there, they put a slit in her skirt that goes almost all the way up. You can't really see much, but there's a really high slit in the side of her skirt, and so if you are into that sort of thing, then that's good for you. So aesthetically speaking, this figure gets like, well, there's no paint on it really, but it doesn't necessarily need more. I'm gonna give it an 8. It looks pretty good. I think they did a good job overall, I suppose. Those little issues notwithstanding. Okay, as far as accessories go, we have a newspaper which says the Daily Bugle on it, and that's pretty good. You can put that in her gripping hand, which is a very gripping hand, by the way. And then you also get a binder, which is just a light blue binder. I guess that's something you could give her. And then you also have a book with the name of a school on it, which I guess would be a yearbook. Does she just walk around holding yearbooks? I don't know. But you have that, and the printing on it is nice, but that's about it. And then you also get the severed head of her love interest's ex-girlfriend. Why do we have a Mary Jane head? This body doesn't suit Mary Jane, does it? Does Mary Jane have the same outfit as Gwen Stacy ever? I don't know, but my Mary Jane head has really nice wash on the hair. The face is painted really well, except for her one eye is drifting hard to center. So that's a little weird. But you do get a Mary Jane head, so use it as a severed head, or use it as an alternate head for this character. It's up to you. I would much rather have just a different body for Mary Jane, rather than putting it on the same body as Gwen Stacy. That's going to look goofy as hell on the shelf. Like, at least make it so that the arms are interchangeable and you can take off the jacket. Something. Does anybody want to have two of the exact same body with different heads on it? That's very weird. Whatever. Accessory-wise, I guess there's some, so that's good, but they're weird and odd, and I don't know how to use them effectively, so 5, I guess. The newspaper is the only thing that really makes sense. She can't even hold the other stuff. Not really. Very weird. Very weird. Okay, for the articulation, watch this. Boop. Mine just isn't connected. I noticed as I took it out of the package that this part was like that. And so I thought, well, maybe it twits. Maybe it has a twist, is what I tried to say. And so I went like this, and then it just fell out. It apparently has some glue on it, but it didn't hold, and it was also not in the right place. So luckily, I can just peg that in and re-glue it. But as it is right now, the head just fell out. So we can look at the articulation briefly. It's got a lollipop, probably not super noticeable in practical use, but it is there. So you have that ball peg, and then you have a hinge, which you're not going to be able to really use. because of the hair, unless you break the neck all the way forward, so we can just ignore that. Moving on to the shoulder. Excellent range, definitely some lymphatic cancer going on right there. That's probably not a good situation. She should get that checked out. Can rotate that around. No bicep swivel up there. Single jointed elbow, just about 90 degrees. You do get the full rotation there though, so that's okay. You do have a wrist swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint, will it work? It does, but not a whole lot. So it's fine. You'll be able to do like slightly adjusted poses with this, but that's about it. Do we get anything down here? I don't think we do. It doesn't feel like we get anything else. So your waist twist is up there if you want it. So that's fine. Let's check the hips. Now I know what you're thinking. I did take her out to dinner first, so it's okay. You're not going to get much range. Out of this side, you're going to get some because of the really high slutty slit in the skirt, but that's about it. This side can't go out to the side at all. It's just solid. Going forward, basically nothing. It's just for adjustment there. Not too much better on this side, really. So the skirt is she's just gonna stand there, which is all she should do. Also, she has really loose joints, so she's really just gonna stand there. You technically do have a thigh swivel though. Double jointed knees will joint. And then for the ankles, the hinge is really good if you want it to be, but the swivel is almost completely vertical. So yeah, this lady is just gonna stand there and do nothing. She's gonna oddly grip her newspaper and stand there. So articulation on this figure gets like a 6. It's pretty bad. Though it's probably fine for the character, it's still not good as a figure. So that's what it is. And as for the final review, final verdict on this figure, it's gonna serve its purpose. It looks like Gwen Stacy. It'll stand on a shelf, though it is kind of hard to stand. You'll have to find the sweet spot. So it's gonna get the job done. If you're buying it because you want a Gwen Stacy on your shelf, it's gonna do that, and you're gonna get that out of it. If you're buying it because you want a super nice action figure that's really well posable and that kind of thing, then it's not that, and you're gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna kind of go somewhere in the middle and say, because it's really poorly articulated, it really doesn't need to be any better. It does look good. I'm gonna give it a 7, a generous 7. I could easily make an argument for 6, but she will stand on a shelf and look like Gwen Stacy, and as the character is just some regular lady not doing much of anything, that makes sense to me, so it gets a 7. A very generous 7. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, give it a big old gripping hand and subscribe. And I do have new videos almost every single day, so it's worth it. I mean, it's free to subscribe and you'll get content almost every day. That's a good trade-off. And the good news is, even if I don't have new content every day, I have lots of content already on the channel. Thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. So you can just click on one of those, and it's like new content every day. So come back for all of that, and in the meantime, keep collecting.